How's it going, everyone? Got a lot of news to catch up on. As you guys might know, PUBG has officially gone free-to-play. We'll talk about that, but also another game that is having a free-to-play release, and that is My Hero Academia Ultra Rumble. We'll talk that in a little bit. Kind of interesting, but, you know, I think some people are going to be into that game and what it's going to look to bring, but again, we'll get to that in a second. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins is, of course, coming out relatively soon, and the game is looking to have a pretty big file size. We'll talk about that. Things can change with a day one patch, but we'll cover that, and we do have some great deals to go over at the end of this video. But first of all, happening yesterday, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds did see its free-to-play release. You can jump into it right now. The developers have been talking a lot about why they want the free-to-play route. I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, it's time for the game to go free-to-play. The game was losing a little bit of buzz, but it still has a relatively healthy player base, especially on PC. Especially if you go now, since the game has gone free-to-play. It has completely jolted up in its player count. Like, there's 300,000 people playing the game on Steam right now, and yeah, it's probably going to get a little bit higher before tapering off, and then we'll see if they can sustain the buzz for the game. That's really the most important thing about these games, is like when they have a big release, they have a big update, you'll jolt up for a little while, and we see it with a lot of games. Halo Infinite had that as well. Halo Infinite was peaking at absurd number of players on Steam, but that has mostly tapered off. Still has a healthy community, don't get me wrong, but you're talking about a big fall off as well for that game. And PUBG right now, again, has a very, very active player base, but it's all about sustainability. Even a game like Apex Legends, which is still huge, if you remember when that game came out, it was like, people were like, oh, this is gonna actually dethrone Fortnite. And don't get it twisted, Apex Legends has been a very successful game for EA, but, you know, sometimes the opening numbers can be a little bit misleading, and you do have to see where the settling is. But PUBG is the Battle Royale game that I got super into. Like, a lot of people were Fortnite guys, some people were Warzone guys. PUBG was the one that I played the hell out of. Played it on PC when it was really in its heyday. And the game definitely had its litany of issues, especially from a technical side of things, but overall, I had a lot of fun with it. So it's always going to have a special place near me, but yeah, if you've been wanting to check it out, if you want to jump in with some buddies and play the game, not a bad idea. Again, free to play right now. Okay, also, sticking to the Battle Royale topic, I know some people are not going to like Battle Royale discussion, but found this interesting. My Hero Academia Ultra Rumble, a Battle Royale title, team up to win a 24-player Rumble in multiplayer action. We see a couple screenshots, but right now information is still relatively sparse. They are planning on hosting a closed beta test. It looks like that's still in flux right now, but yeah, those official pictures came out, and yeah, I'm a big fan of My Hero Academia. At least I was, like, when it was still, you know, like, Season 1 and 2, I absolutely love. Season 3 was a little bit, like, I just started, like, falling off with the show, but from what I hear, it's still relatively decent, and people enjoyed the most recent season, I believe. I really enjoyed the My Hero titles that were Arena Fighters on the PlayStation 4. Those games were really solid. This is, of course, doing something a bit different, much like what Naruto did with the Shinobi Strikers game. This is taking the My Hero franchise from a game standpoint into a different realm. Hopefully it turns out well, because I think a free-to-play anime-based Battle Royale can be something that people want to check out, but if you're just trying to live off the My Hero name, yeah, obviously, that's not going to be something great, but still, something I'm going to follow as a fan of the other two games, and as somebody that does want to eventually watch the entirety of the show, something to keep an eye on, and hopefully it does turn out pretty well. Alright, what might not turn out well is Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins' file size. The game, which was noted by the PlayStation Game Size Twitter account, it's looking at a 71.5 gigabyte install, but that is without the day one patch on PlayStation 5. It could very well be smaller when the PlayStation 5 version gets its update and everything like that. The game is scheduled for release on March 18th, but if you do pre-order the game, you do get 3 days of early access. Never a fan of that gimmick, but, you know, in this case, I believe it's just, if you pre-order the base game, you'll get it on March 15th. So that's not as bad as when a game has like a wild collector's edition and it's like $90 or something like that. Not a big fan of that, but nevertheless, gonna be a healthy install by the looks of it. Hopefully it is reduced file size. Look, we've seen games get shaved by like 20 gigabytes with optimization on PlayStation 5, so maybe it could be an instance like that. This is a Team Ninja title. Square Enix games obviously are known for being bigger in file sizes, especially their Japanese titles like the mainline Final Fantasy games and whatnot, but this is a Team Ninja game, so it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Obviously coming PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Microsoft Windows for the Epic Game Store exclusively, and it'll be dropping on March 18th, but again, with the early access, you do get to play it March 15th, and the preload will go live on March 13th. Lastly, want to wrap up this video by taking a look at some great deals that are live right now. First of all, Far Cry 6 continuing to plummet in price, so if you're one of those people that saw the game on sale during Black Friday for $35 and maybe you wouldn't have got into the game by now, or you wouldn't have clocked too much time into it, now this price is like a pretty wild price. I would say just go for it. Like, is it actually going to get down to $15? Let's like put a mark. I would say if it gets down to $15 by June, I would be very, very surprised. Like, that is a fall from grace on a price point of a video game, and again, that's something we expect out of Ubisoft games these days. It's something we've been monitoring on this channel for quite a while. When you look at games coming out, Ubisoft games, more so than any other publisher, those games fall in price really quickly. A lot of people think the thinking is, you know, for a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that's a game with a ton of microtransactions, and you can sell the game and hopefully sell some DLC, you can sell, you know, microtransactions and everything like that. I don't know if that's what the thinking is. I don't know how really they come up with the price points and things like that. That's just my assessment, and I did see a lot of people put out that notion on why that is for Ubisoft games, but that makes all the sense in the world, to be honest, but yeah, that's just speculation. $19.99 for Far Cry 6, on the other hand. Yo, if you like Far Cry, you're probably going to enjoy Far Cry 6. I know some people didn't think that highly of it, but, like, we're talking about spending $20 for it. Like, yeah, maybe the reviews came out and they weren't, like, as, you know, like, super positive. But when you're talking about $20 for Far Cry 6, this is like such a good price, and you're paying a third of the initial cost, and I think it's a game you can have a lot of fun with. A lot of content. I mean, you guys know what you're getting into with a Far Cry game. Voice acting is very good. So yeah, $20 for it is a pretty wild, and this is a game that's ultimately going to have DLC content as well, so that is something to note. There's a season pass for the game, so again, that could be the thinking here, but one of the quicker price drops, because remember, it fell to $35 during Black Friday, and I'm like, this is a game that might actually hold up in price a little bit harder than some of the other Ubisoft games, and then right after it went down to $30, then it went down to $25, and now we're seeing a basement price point of $19.99, which, again, by Ubisoft standards, even then, I think it's a little bit crazy. Moving on from that, though, Dark Souls 3, the Fire Fades Edition, $12.88 over on GameStop. Dark Souls 3 is one of those games that Bandai Namco knows what they have with Souls. It's one of those games that just holds up in price on the PlayStation Store. You're not going to find it cheaper than like 15 bucks. And this edition has some additional content as well. Dark Souls 3 was my favorite of the 3 Souls games, you know, excluding Demon Souls, like the Dark Souls games. Had a ton of fun with it. I'm always, you know, kind of honest with you guys about my feelings on the Souls games. I like them, but I'm not, like, as into them as some other people. Like, people are losing their minds over Elden Ring, and more power to you. It's nice to be excited for a game. Elden Ring I'm looking forward to, but it's not, like, the top of my wish list, which I think for a lot of people this coming year, Elden Ring is their most anticipated game, which again, more power to you. Dark Souls 3 I did have a lot of fun with, but again, with the Souls games, generally speaking, it's play it once and then I'm kind of done with it. Outside of Bloodborne, that holds true for all the Souls games. Yeah, I beat Demon Souls, like the original, way back in the day, if you want to count that, but nevertheless, $12.88 for Dark Souls 3, I can say that that is a very good deal. Lastly, No Man's Sky, a pre-owned copy of that game is down to $9 on GameStop.com. I think this is a pretty good price for No Man's Sky. Obviously, a game that has seen a healthy evolution over the last 4 or 5 years. You know, I would put it right behind Final Fantasy XIV as a game that started off absolutely abysmal and then really made a comeback, and Hello Games didn't charge you for the updates on the game, so they deserve a lot of credit from that standpoint. Obviously, you know, it's probably good that they didn't, because the game had a lot of disappointment attached to it back in August of 2016, and playing it on a PC back in the day, that game was just a train wreck on PC as well. So nice to see that it's made so much improvements, and $9 for the game. Obviously, this is a good pickup now, especially looking back. You know, I spent $60 on the game, and, you know, that was a disappointment, but now you're paying sub $10. You're getting a much, much better game. Makes all the sense in the world to pick this up. But that's going to do it for me. Again, a lot of talk to go over. PUBG, free to play, that is live right now. Go download it, jump in with a couple buddies, and have a good time with that. Free to play My Hero Academia Battle Royale title. We'll see how that turns out. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins could be clocking it at a pretty hefty file size, so we'll see how that turns out. Far Cry 6, pretty ridiculous deal on that, all things considered. $20 I think is like a wild deal for that game, but also good deals on Dark Souls 3, the Fire Fates edition, and No Man's Sky. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.